often the point of view that we see in the painting is the point of view of you as the artist out the back waiting to catch a wave, and you've had lots of time while you're waiting for the perfect wave to study the light and the sort of shifting moods and the weather as it plays out on the escarpment. So can you just talk a little bit about painting this place?
Yeah, well, that's spot on, Cara. That most or a lot of my landscapes are from the point of view of the ocean looking back at the land. And it struck me one day that the first sight the colonizers had was the land from the sea, little wisps of smoke coming out of the bush. And I just think it's a particularly special way to view the land from the water looking back. And you're right about the different shifting moods of this place. You know, because we have this escarpment right next to the ocean, whenever there's a wind change or a temperature change, we see it here first, that the way the clouds form on top of the escarpment is all due to the, you know, different sort of variation in heat of the water as opposed to the land. And those clouds form, and then light somehow sort of finds its way through the clouds and hits the landscape in different and interesting ways. And it's just ever-changing, incredibly beautiful. And it never ceases to amaze me just how absolutely stunning and profoundly beautiful the place is. And it also feels to me, looking up at that mountain, that really that's one of the few views that has almost not changed in the 200 years that we've been here and the 250 years that Cook went past.
You like to paint wet on wet, and that you like to paint fast, and you like to paint in a day. So what is that? What does that immediacy give you, and what does that immediacy demand of you?
By trying to get the whole thing out immediately in one day, you have to build yourself into this almost sort of frenetic, frenzied of headspace. And the idea is that by doing that, and you're painting fast and there's music playing, that there will be a lot of chance for serendipity. And really, for me, painting is about learning to use serendipity. It's like, and after years of doing it, it's about creating your happy accidents. And I'm really just corralling my happy accidents now like chickens, and I'm trying to herd chickens. And of course, it's a bit of a high wire act, and sometimes the whole thing collapses in a heap.
The thing that makes your work, I think, instantly recognizable to everyone is this thick, buttery paint that you slab on in what seems like an extravagant way.
And one of the great things about painting, like drawing, is it's one of the most immediate art forms you can really have. It's really this triangular connection, your hand, your brain, and the canvas.
You told me what the School of Arts was like back in the day when you, I think, first went to visit it. And there was an artist there called Ian Gentle. I'd never heard of him, but the way you described how he was occupying that space was really memorable. So can you just tell us a little bit about Ian Gentle?
Ian lived at the Clifton School of Arts, and downstairs was his studio. And he was like this little hairy hermit with this massive beard in the studio, full of sticks and things. He made what he called critters, which were these sticks that he'd found in the bush, and he would burn them and shape them and then somehow stick them together with this black, sticky, resinous. Never told anyone the recipe. It was a super secret recipe. And then he would burn the whole thing, and there would be these quite sort of abstracted forms that he called critters and that resembled animals in some way or another. But in this room where he made them, there was one wall piled floor to ceiling with just the sticks. And so here was this wild, slightly mad fellow in this, like a hermit in his little cave. And I tell you what, it was an eye-opener for a 16-year-old to see what an artist can be.